Good morning. It is day 5 of our shapes lesson. Today we're going to talk about how we can cover a rectangle with equal size squares to show equal parts of something. So in this video we are going to be using day 5 materials. It's probably dated May 10th, even though today is the 11th. We're kind of a day behind because I wanted you guys to catch up. So we need May 10th, 2021, day 5 worksheets. If you don't have those, just pause the video and get it, and then come back and start. All right, so if this were in color, they would have some red squares here, and they want to know how many red squares can cover this rectangle. So they're taking these little square tiles and they're going to cover the rectangle to see how many squares it takes to cover it. Now, when you cover with tiles, make sure that you place them side by side and that they do not overlap. Like, this is not the way we want to do that. This is the way we need to start. So once you have covered the rectangle, you can count. And we see here that each row, which a row goes across, has 4 squares. And you can add the squares by rows. We can add 4 plus 4 plus 4, and that would give us 12. You can also count the columns. Now, a column is like if you think of the front of a building where they have columns in the front, they are going from top to bottom. Okay, that is called vertical. Rows go horizontal. So let's talk about that. Horizontal means that you go from side to side, just like the horizon. When you look at the horizon, you will see where the land meets the sky is the horizon, and it is from side to side. Vertical means that you're going up and down. All right, so if you're standing, you are vertical. If you are laying down, you are horizontal. Columns are vertical, rows are horizontal. So each column, we count, we see 1, 2, 3 squares. So we could add the columns 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, and we would get 12. And notice, here we added 4 plus 4 plus 4 and got 12. Here we added 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 and got 12. So, explain how you can cover a rectangle with equal size squares to help you find the total number of them. Well, we would take the squares and put them side by side until they cover the rectangle, and then we would count them. Alright, so explain how you can cover a rectangle with equal size squares to help you find the total number of them. So we would put the squares so that they cover the rectangle without overlapping. And then we could count them, and they would be in rows and columns. Alright, so that's how we would do that if we were asked to cover them. You might want to pause the video so you can get that written down. Okay, now we're going to our guided practice, and it says use square tiles to cover the rectangle. Trace the tiles. Column 1 is done for you. Now, of course, you do not have the tiles, but what I did is I cut enough so that I got as close to the size of the square as I could. And here you see that they have already drawn the first column. Now column goes up and down from top to bottom. So I'm going to put my little squares here. Okay, so I covered the first one, the first column. And how many did that take? It took 3, right. So it took 3 to make the column. So if we go across, I wonder how many it would take to make a row. So we're going to take these, and as best we can, we're going to fit them into our rows. So how many did it take to go from side to side or horizontal to make a row? If I can get them to stay right. Okay, yes, it took 6 to go across in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it took 3 to go down. So now they want you to trace the tiles. Column 1 is done for us, so we can take these off and we can just draw our lines here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to draw as best we can, and I know my lines aren't straight, but we'll just try to deal with it. And got paint on my fingers again. I've been painting at home. Alright, and then we're going to go across. So I'm just going to drag that line all the way across and drag this line all the way across. Okay, so now these are representing the tiles, as you can see. So we have made our columns going up and down and our rows. And now they want us to count and add. How many squares cover the rectangle? If we add by rows, how many do we have in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 in one row. We would have 6 more in the second row, and still 6 more in the third row. So what is 6 plus 6 plus 6? Okay, we know that 6 plus 6 is 12. Okay, and now we add 6 to 12 and we get, right, 18. So it took 18 square tiles to cover this rectangle. Now let's do columns. We've got 1, 2, 3 going down. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay, so we know 3 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. Excuse me, sorry about that. Let's try that again. My counting is terrible tonight. 3 plus 3 is 6. Okay. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. 12 plus 3 is 15. And 15 plus 3 is 18. Again, I apologize for that. I'm a little bit tired today. Alright, so that is the first sheet. Notice that the rows added up to 18 and the columns added up to 18. Okay, so let's flip over onto the back. Again, they want us to use square tiles, and of course you don't have any, so I will try to put this. Alright, so this is one square tile, and it's going to go like this. And here's another square tile, and then we would have, get it straight, another one, and another one, and then that one. And then we would go across here. We can bring these down all the way down. And then we'd have to mark here and here, and we just go all the way across again. Okay, so by rows, how many are in a row? Well, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 here, we've got 5 there, 5 in the third row, and 5 in the fourth row. So 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 5 is 15, and 15 plus 5 is 20. So it would take 20 tiles to cover that rectangle. Excuse me. All right, let's look at the columns. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got 4 in the first column. That means we have 4 in the second column, 4 in the third column, and 4 in the fourth column, and 4 in the fifth column. Again, we've got to, and you know how to skip count by fours, and you're doing good. But if we just add 4 plus 4 is 8, 8 plus 4 is 12, 12 plus 4 is 16, 16 plus 4 is 20. So again, we got the same number of rows as columns. All right, trace the lines that we're using the tiles. So let's see, we've got one here. My pen. So one here, and if we keep going, we can put one here, one here, and again we've got that one. So let's just bring this line down. I'll start bringing this line across, across, across. And then to mark where we've got our squares, we're going to do this. And we will bring the lines all the way down. Okay, so rows first. In a row we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So row 1 is 4, row 2 is 4, row 3 is 4, and row 4 is 4. So 4 plus 4 is, right, 8. 8 plus 4, 12. And 12 plus 4 is 16. Okay. So we've got 16 square tiles to cover that shape in rows. Now let's look at columns. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to go 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns. So 4 and 4 is 8, 8 and 4 is 12, 12 and 4 is 16. So again, 16. We've got 16 when we count rows, and we've got 16 when we count columns. Very good. All right, let's go over to the next page. And on this page it says, Lisa bakes cornbread. She cuts it into equal square pieces. How many equal pieces do you see? Write 2 equations to show the total number of square pieces. So here are her brownies, and it looks like if we do rows, she's got 1, 2, 3, 4 rows going this way. So that's 1 row of 4. If I can get this so you can see it. 2 rows of 4, 3 rows of 4, 4 rows of 4, 5 rows of 4, 6 rows of 4. And we can add those together. We've got 4 and 4 is 8. 8 and 4 is 12. 12 and 4 is 16. 16 and 4 is 20. And 20 and 4 is 24. So 24 pieces in brownies. We do columns. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we've got how many columns? We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 columns of 6. So we've got to do 6 4 times. So 6 plus 6 is 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. So again, we've got 24 pieces of brownies that, or excuse me, cornbread that she made. I'm thinking brownies. I think that'd be a good idea. All right, label the columns and the rows for the large square. So which one of these would be our rows? Right, the ones going across are the rows, and the ones going up and down are the columns. Columns go up and down when they support the house. Look at the large square in item 7. What do you notice about the number of rows and the number of columns? All right, so let's look at it. We've got 1, 2, 3 rows and 1, 2, 3 columns. What do you see or notice about the number of rows and the number of columns? Well, they are the same amount. Okay, they're the same amount in each direction, so they form a square. All right, very good. So let's look at the next one, number 9. Count the equal squares in the rows and columns of the rectangle. Then use the numbers on the cards to write the missing numbers in the equation. Okay, so rows, we have 2 of them, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in each row. So our rows are 7 plus 7, which is, gotcha, 14. All right, columns going up and down. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns of how many? 2. Each column has 2. So 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And again, 2 plus 2 if we count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So they match. So that's a pretty good clue that you have got it right if they match. All right, last page as a review of what we have done today. All right, says the rectangle is covered with squares, and you can use square tiles to cover a rainbow, a rectangle. Count the squares, add the squares by rows, or add the squares by columns. So if we add by rows, how many rows do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, and then how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 5. Okay, so for the rows, we've got 1 row, 5, 2 rows, 5. We need 1 more, 5. And if our 5 people can count by 5, so we would get 5, 10, 15. 15 squares. Now they have the add the columns. So the columns, you have 7 just people on the board. And so let's look at the next one. Add by columns. So we've got 3, 3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3. So 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. And 15 plus 3 excuse me, 6, 9, 12, 15, and 18. Hold on, I am getting a little confused myself here. Let's try that again. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a long day. So 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay. 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus 3 is 9. Let's get this right. Plus 3 is 12. Plus 3 is 15. So 15 either way. All right, number 2, use the square tiles to cover the rectangle. Trace the tiles to count the squares. So if this is 1, then we would have another column, and another one. And then if we go this way, we can just connect as we go. So we can go across, and bring this down. All right, so for this one, we have 3 rows with 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to add 4 plus 4 plus 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, our columns, each column has 3. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. Whew. This would not be a good day for me to go try to buy something with change. I can't seem to count today. Anyway, 6, 9, 12. So again, it is 12. All right, we are not going to do the one that says on the back. We're going to stop there. So we have used a square to cover a rectangle to see how many equal parts we could get. All right, well, that's all for today. Come back and do your reading. It's getting into Shark Week, so it's kind of fun stuff to do. And I will see you later.